Yes guys, welcome to the video. So, you've clicked on this video because you want to secure your dream role and become a football scout. Well, I'm here to help. I'm here to give my personal hints and tips that helped me secure my dream role in football, but most importantly, football scouting. So just a little bit about my background in the last 2 years as being a football scout. So I feel like I'm in a really unique position to help you guys out because even though I'm not the most sort of experienced scout on the circuit, I started right at the bottom. I had no previous experience in the professional game, I had no contacts or any way into a football club. I was very much an armchair fan that would go to the weekends and watch a football game and thought I was a pretty keen eye for talent. So I thought to myself, maybe see if this even possible as a career path for someone like me. So I feel like I really resonate with people that feel like they've got no experience in the game looking to get in. Now, 2 years on, I can say that I've had scouting roles for EFL clubs, Scottish League clubs, and even from freelance work. And in these 2 years, I've covered and watched games from EFL League 1 and 2, all 3 national leagues, multiple non-league divisions, and also over video, I've watched leagues all over the world. So hopefully in this video, I can give you some information to help you climb that scouting ladder and one day hopefully be a football scout. So first things first, we need to understand what sort of scout you want to be. There's a number of different avenues and paths that you could go down, so there's no set way to the top. So there's multiple different scouting roles that you can have. So really it's about understanding what excites you about the game and what gets you up early in the morning, late at night, watching games. So as a base, there are sort of 3 main areas that you can be covering as a football scout. So those are academy scouting. So typically this is where you're going out and seeing the brightest young talent in the game. This is usually on a Saturday morning in your local area. This is typically from under 9s all the way up to under 23s, where you're spotting talent that hopefully can make a real contribution to your first team in the future. Next, we've got first team football scouting. So typically this is where you're going to watch adult football that hopefully make a big effect in the first team of your football club. Depending on the team, this could be watching players from all over the country. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you'd be watching players regionally for your local team. So here's where I want to make another recommendation. If you want to go down this avenue, maybe reach out to teams that are not local to your area. So for example, if you're in the north of the country, why don't you reach out to teams that are based in the south? So this way you're offering your service to a team that might not have anyone covering them specific areas. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're reaching out to clubs that are local to you, they will have expertise covering them areas already. Another option for a role is opposition scouting. Now this is where you're going to watch teams that your club is going to be playing in the future. So this role, you're essentially reporting back on what this opposition does. You can be watching this team's lineup, formation, attacking ability, defensive strengths. You're essentially giving your manager ways to sort of exploit the opposition in the future so hopefully they can win the game. There are a ton of different variations on this role that you can look at, but ultimately it's just understanding where your passion lies and what gets you excited to become a football scout. So for me personally, it was the excitement of recommending a player, bringing them into a club, making a real impact to that team and hopefully making that team successful. So overall, there isn't a straight path in this industry, so it's really understanding what you enjoy and just go out and get it. So, you've got a good idea of the variation of football scout you want to be. Now it's time to go out and watch some football games. You need to now really understand what the different levels there are in football. You need to now go watch some football games, whether that's your local long league or your local professional games. You need to get to grips with what it takes to be at them different levels in football. You need to understand their abilities, whether that's mentally, tactically, physically, what it takes to be at different levels in the football pyramid. I completely understand in this current climate it's very difficult to do, but also it's quite costly, but it's something that you're just going to have to do. Not only would this be helping your development and understanding of the game, this could also help bring in money to them local clubs that desperately need it in this current climate. With technology being massive these days, there are some clubs that are actually offering free options to watch their football games. I know there's quite a few non-league teams that are actually providing full match highlights on YouTube that you can watch and take notes from. I feel like in this current climate is a really good option for you to take and sort of learn from. So now you're watching games, whether that's live or online, this is where you need to start to put your reports together. I completely understand that you might be new to this, but just give it a go. Put down things that you feel you want to know if you're reporting on a team or a player. Start now compiling a database full of different reports, whether that's team reports, players reports, from all different leagues. This is a long process, but it will benefit you in the future. So now you've watched a ton of games from different leagues and you've got a good understanding of what happens in them. It's now time to reach out to some football professionals out there. Loaded with a backlog of different reports, it's now time to interact with different people in the industry. Networking is crucial in scouting, and if you want to build up a network, it is vital if you want to get into the industry. But also, once you're in, building up these friendships are crucial because you never know in the future when you might need them. There are a number of different ways to build up your network, whether that's face-to-face, but understandably it's a bit difficult in this current climate, but also social media. Social media is a great tool for you to use if you want to interact with people all over the world in different backgrounds. You can do this from platforms such as Twitter and Instagram, but I feel like LinkedIn is the best way to go. Personally, I feel like LinkedIn is the holy grail if you want to get into football scouting. On here, you can find all sorts of different professionals in the game, whether that's managers, coaches, other scouts, head of recruitment. Most likely they will be on LinkedIn. If you haven't done so already, I would recommend creating a profile. Now, once you've got a profile and you're ready to go, this is where you need to connect with as many people as you feel would be beneficial to your scouting journey. Now, bear in mind, this might be another stumbling block as they might not connect with you. I wouldn't worry because there's thousands of other people on there ready to connect with you. Right, so you've connected with a lot of football professionals that you feel might be able to help you guide you through your journey. Perfect. Now, this is the difficult bit. These professionals will be inundated with different people asking them for favours. Whether this is agents trying to get their players into them clubs, whether that's parents trying to get for trials, players themselves trying to get into them specific clubs, these people will be bombarded with messages daily. This is where you need to start and try and build a rapport with this person. Don't jump in straight away with that $1 million question that you want to scout for them. Build a foundation, build a common ground with these people. Do your homework, ask them about their current teams, how they got into scouting, any recommendations for people looking to get into scouting, what it's like to work at their specific club. That way they're more likely to respond and try and build a conversation with you. Once you feel you're on good terms with this person, maybe ask if they've got any advice for someone looking to start out in the football world. Maybe ask if they've got an opinion on a report that you've just done. This way they're more inclined to help out and give you some advice. If they're impressed with your work, maybe reach out and ask if there's any players coming up in the next fixtures that you need looking at. I want to stress this though, at the start you will be doing voluntary scouting. This is how everyone starts out in the field. It's far more valuable to you at the start when you're going to games, being in that scouting environment than any money that you would get at the start. The teams that you'll be scouting for want to build a trust with your judgment and your report writing before you make any big strides in the industry. So I want to make you aware also that the people that you're reaching out to might not respond as well. Don't be disheartened. You need to keep going and be determined. It only takes one person to give you a chance and you're on your way. This journey is 100% a marathon and not a sprint. You find in this day and age that people want success straight away, but it just doesn't happen like that. You have to build up your experience and your knowledge, and it just doesn't happen overnight. The best way to move yourself up the ladder is just hard work. It's just as simple as that. Putting in them extra hours, building up your craft and your experience, and over time opportunities will come. Keep reaching out to people, asking for advice and building up that network. For me personally, I'm nowhere near the finished product, but I know that and I'm working hard to one day make this my professional career. So moving on to scouting courses online. I see a load of different courses out there promising the world to people trying to get into the industry, but in reality it doesn't happen. I feel like a lot of courses out there do have their benefits, but personally I feel like going out and watching games, working hard, getting advice and networking is the best way to start. I feel like some of the courses out there are very expensive and don't really get you any closer to securing that scouting role. I feel like if you are desperate to do a course, I would recommend doing the FA Talent ID Level 1 course. Now this is a free course online and really it's just the foundations of what the FA expects scouts to do when going to games in the country. Now this isn't groundbreaking stuff that you probably don't know already, but really it just leads you to bigger courses in the future that is far more beneficial. Now I've seen a few professional clubs have a minimum requirement of the FA Talent ID Level 2 for any entry-level scouting roles. Now this is where it gets slightly more expensive, but it will benefit you in the long run. But you know this is a reputable organisation because the FA is the governing body for football in this country. So if you get yourself on that Level 2 course, I would highly recommend it. So, just to recap, understanding the role that you want to get into, get yourself out and watching games, whether that's live or online, start putting in them hours and writing some reports, networking and social media, get yourself on LinkedIn and speaking to people all over the world, determination and persistence because it just doesn't happen overnight, and get yourself on some FA Talent ID courses. Guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please drop it a like. Drop a comment down below for any questions you might have around scouting and I'll try my best to answer them. Subscribe to the channel if you like this sort of content. I'm looking to bring out more videos like this to help you guys out in the scouting world. Thanks again for watching and I'll catch you next time.